Today we are driving a modified Elantra N. This is going to look familiar to a lot of you. This is my brother's Elantra N. We've been modifying it on the channel for the past, basically since we got it 2 years ago. It's gone through a lot of changes, but at the same time, nothing like too drastic. So I'm going to put all of the modifications in the description below so you can check those out. Just as a quick rundown though, this car is pretty basic in all consideration. I mean, it has an intercooler, a downpipe, a CATA downpipe, so it's compliant, stock suspension, stock brakes, just a flash tune from 6 Element, and that's kind of like the main power mods. It also has an intake Lite, which is basically like an OEM plus kind of intake solution. It's got some lightweight wheels, sticky tires. Fun fact, we're actually able to run 265 tires on this car with 0 rubbing. Now, granted, this car has a track alignment, so there's a lot of negative camber to help it kind of tuck under the fender, but that's pretty insane to be able to run 265 tires on a car like this. It also has blacked out trim, really helps it kind of, in my opinion, be a little bit more cohesive. Looks like a normal Elantra, which in our opinion, you know, I think that's a good looking car. I think the red just kind of sticks out a little bit too much, so with it blacked out, it's a little bit more like cohesive. I think it's makes it look good. Other than that, the car is fairly stock. We have done a couple little interior modifications. There are some rear vents that are actually functional, so we added those. That's pretty cool. On the inside, we have this little Alcantara suede armrest. Nice and functional. Just makes it a little bit more, you know, expensive inside. But other than that, I mean, really, like, this car is not that modified. Like, you can't tell a crazy amount from the outside. You just see some nice wheels, and that's basically it. As far as you can tell, that's kind of all it's done to it. However, this car is very fast. We got back from Gingerman Raceway last weekend doing a Grid Life time attack competition, and I'm not gonna spoil anything, but the car did really well. So I think, man, if you want a fun car, this is the car to get. A brand new car right now that you can get for like 34K, I think it's the MSRP. So after tax, you know, it's under $40,000. Man, this thing is like the whole package. I'm also going to be recording on an external microphone, so we'll be able to see or hear how the exhaust sounds, get some nice crackles, nice pops. I think actually one of my favorite parts of this car is actually just the steering wheel itself. This is, in my opinion, the best steering wheel that I've ever felt, outside of a Porsche GT3. It's just really good. It feels good, it has good materials. I love these buttons. We can go into N mode, and then if we hit it one more time, we have our custom mode. So we have all of our settings in the N mode. Basically everything is as aggressive as can be, except for steering and suspension. So suspension is as soft as it can be. It's kind of the best option for street driving, and I mean, even on track, I'd recommend just keeping it in normal. Another one of my favorite parts of this car is actually just the automatic rev matching. Every new car in a manual transmission should have this. I think this is one of the reasons why, like, people don't necessarily love driving manuals every day, is because they have to shift so much. And if you just make it a little bit smoother for people, they're gonna like manuals more. And this is no exception. Easy as can be, any gear you want to be in that you're able to. You know, don't go into first at 70 miles per hour. It's just gonna rev match perfectly for you every single time, no matter what. the great thing about the exhaust that is on here right now, so it's a stock catback, upgraded downpipe with a catalytic converter, and it honestly is really civil. Like when you go into normal mode, you really cannot hear much. Even in N mode at low RPM, there's no indication that this is like an upgraded exhaust. It's only when you kind of really get high up in the RPMs that you really kind of notice like, oh, this might be a little bit modified. Really nice pops out of the exhaust. The LSD is probably the smartest and easiest like addition to this car, because honestly, like, I'm not a good driver by any means, and I haven't driven this car on track in a while, but the first time that I did, made a video on it. Oh yeah. Man, this LSD is absolutely insane. You can feel it helping you every single turn. It wants you to go faster. I was blown away by how confident I felt, because again, I'm not the best driver. The car does a lot of the thinking for you, right? When you're going into a corner, it's like, okay, how do I get this guy out of corner as quickly as possible? And the car just kind of does it for you.